Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma, we're going to be showing you how to install the Curt Class III Trailer Hitch Receiver. But before we get into that, why don't we take a minute, check this out, and make sure it's going to work for you. If your Tacoma didn't come equipped with a factory hitch, it makes sense to pick up one like this and put it back here. That way you can pull your trailers around, or if you want to use accessories, you're going to be able to do that. And this one also doesn't look bad. For the most part, you're really not going to be able to see a whole lot and kind of puts off that factory type appearance. This is going to have a 2" by 2" receiver tube opening, really common size, tons of different things are going to work with it. It's going to use that standard 5/8 pin and clip. Keep in mind though, pin and clip doesn't come included with the hitch. If you need one, not a big deal, you can grab it here at eTrailer. And a lot of times too, if you get accessories and stuff, they'll come with one too, so just keep that in mind. Safety chain opening is going to be real easy to get to and large enough to allow us to use just about any size hook that our trailer might have on it. The hitch is going to give us some good weight capacities. Maximum gross tongue weight rating is going to be 900 pounds. That's the amount of weight pushing down on it, so pretty high number, and you should be able to use just about any accessory, just to give you an example there. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, that's going to be 6,000 pounds. That's going to be the amount of weight that is pulling on the hitch, so the weight of your trailer plus anything that you might have on it. This can be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component. And what happens if you use that, it's going to keep your trailer and your Toyota level whenever you're towing it down the road. So if you have a bigger camper or something along them lines, might be worth checking out. If you use it though, tongue weight rating will stay the same at 900, but the gross trailer weight rating will increase to 8,000 pounds. With all that in mind though, I do always like to suggest it's never a bad idea just to grab your truck's owner's manual. That way you can check in there and make sure your Tacoma can handle that much weight safely. Now we can just grab a couple of measurements, and these are going to help us figure out what type of accessories to get or which ones will work best. We go from the ground to the top inside edge of our receiver tube opening. That's going to be about 18.5 inches. So if you're pulling a trailer, you could probably get away with using a ball mount that has a straight shank or one that has about a 2" drop. Something like that would work for a lot of people. If you go from the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of the rear bumper, that's going to be about 4 inches. So by chance, if you are going to have any folding type accessories, you can use that to help figure out if they're going to come upright and not make contact with the bumper, which is a really good clearance there, so you really shouldn't have to worry about running into any issues as far as that goes. I do want to touch base on trailer wiring real quick, and I say it because if you're going to be putting a hitch on your Tacoma, chances are pretty good you don't have that factory wiring option. And if you're pulling a trailer, you're going to want the lights to work on it, and so to accomplish that, you can pick up some trailer wiring here and be able to do that. And matter of fact, after this hitch, that's what we're going to be installing on our Tacoma today, is some trailer wiring, so you can always check that out. But compared to the other hitch available, there's an eTrailer hitch. Essentially, they're very, very similar in terms of how they're going to work and what they can handle and things like that. Main difference though is just going to be the finish. The eTrailer one has more of a matte black finish as compared to the Curt, where it's more gloss. So kind of whatever you prefer, whatever you think looks better, you can't go wrong with either one of them. But yeah, other than that, at the end of the day, the hitch is going to open up your opportunities on how you're going to be able to use your truck. And as far as the install goes, really not too bad at all. I kind of ran into one little snag, so to speak, trying to drop a bolt down through here. I'll show you what I did though, and hopefully that'll make it easier on you, but really not a big deal. Essentially, it kind of just bolts right up. So speaking of that though, why don't we go ahead, pull into the garage, and put it on now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here underneath the back of our Tacoma, and the first thing that we need to do is get some hardware in place here on our bumper beam support. So on this beam here, you're going to have 2 attachment points, one here, which I already got our hardware in, and then one here. And to get our hardware in this one, what you're going to do is take one of the fish wires, take the coiled end of it, push it through, and then route this to the side, and it'll come out of the tube. And then you take a spacer block, put that over, and a carriage bolt. That carriage bolt will thread onto it. That'll slide in. And just drop it down into place. Sometimes it gets a little hung up, so you kind of work it around. Should get it to drop through. So I was able to get this in. What was kind of odd is this one dropped right in, no problem. This one wanted to fight me a little bit. And so if that happens to you, what I ended up doing, so I just grabbed two similar pieces of hardware here just to kind of give you an example, all right? What I did was I put the pull wire on or threaded it on about halfway, so there's a little bit of bend in it there, and got it pretty close, so like this. And while I was pulling down on this, I was kind of putting my finger up there and trying to push up on the spacer block to get that bolt started through there. And once that was the case, I was able to kind of slowly rotate it and get it to drop down like that. So, you know, if that happens to you, that's what you can try. You just kind of have to find that sweet spot and get it started perfectly in there like that until it drops down. But I don't know if it's just this particular vehicle, because like I said, this one dropped in no problem, but figured I'd just mention that. Now we can go over our other attachment points, and from this point on, whatever you do to one side, you're also going to do to the other side. It'll all be set up the same. But at the back of the frame, we're going to have two threaded weld nuts. And I do suggest spraying some penetrating oil in there, taking a tube brush or something, and cleaning those threads out if they got any junk in them. You know, we'll get it removed. But once the hitch is up, you can take this bolt and a conical tooth washer, put it through the hitch, and that's just going to thread right into the frame. You do want to make sure that the teeth on the washer are going to face up towards the hitch. Now with an extra set of hands, we can take our hitch. We're going to take the pull wires that we ran through the center of our vehicle, drop them down through, and line this up. Get those to drop down. Then we can take the hardware that we talked about and get at least one started on each side, hand tight. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on the rest of the bolts. For the hardware in the center, you can just remove the pull wires and then take a flange nut and thread those right on. Once you get all the hardware in place and hand tight, and come back with a 19 or 3/4 inch socket and snug it all down. Now we can come back with a torque wrench and tighten down all the hardware to the amount specified in the instructions. Once the hitch is all torqued down though, you're ready to go. But that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Curt Trailer Hitch Receiver on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma.